Have you ever noticed how history seems to repeat itself? Not in a spooky way, but in patterns, in cycles. Well, it's a fascinating story from the Torah, from the Parashat Miketz, that feels strangely relevant to our world right now, especially as we look towards the year 2025. The story starts with Joseph, who's been thrown into a dungeon in Egypt. He's at his lowest point. Meanwhile, Pharaoh, the most powerful man in the world, is having these bizarre, troubling dreams. He dreams of 7 fat, healthy cows coming out of the Nile, followed by 7 gaunt, sickly cows that eat the healthy ones. Then he dreams of 7 full, ripe ears of grain, swallowed up by 7 thin, scorched ears. Pharaoh is freaked out. He calls all his magicians and wise men, but nobody can make sense of these nightmares. That's when someone remembers Joseph, the young Hebrew man who could interpret dreams. So they pull Joseph out of the dungeon, clean him up, and bring him before Pharaoh. Now, imagine the scene. Joseph moments ago, a prisoner, is now standing in the royal court. He tells Pharaoh that these aren't 2 separate dreams, but one single message from God. The 7 healthy cows and full ears of grain represent 7 years of incredible abundance and prosperity that are coming to Egypt. But, he warns, they will be followed by 7 years of devastating famine, so severe it will make everyone forget the good times ever happened. But Joseph doesn't just deliver the bad news and leave. He offers a solution, a detailed economic plan. He says, "Pharaoh, you need to appoint a wise and discerning man to be in charge. During the 7 good years, collect 1/5 of all the produce of the land, store it up in granaries in the cities. This way, when the famine hits, Egypt will have a massive reserve to draw from, saving the nation and even its neighbors from starvation." Pharaoh is blown away. He sees the divine wisdom in Joseph's plan and says, "Can we find anyone like this? A man in whom is the Spirit of God." He immediately appoints Joseph as the second in command over all of Egypt. Joseph, the former slave and prisoner, becomes the viceroy, the economic savior. And everything happens exactly as Joseph foretold. The 7 years of plenty arrive, and Joseph oversees the massive project of collecting and storing grain. Then the famine hits, and it's brutal. People from all over the world start coming to Egypt to buy food, because it's the only place that has any. So, what does this ancient story have to do with us, with 2025? Well, there's a fascinating concept in Jewish thought called the Shemitah cycle, or the sabbatical cycle. Just like the Sabbath is the 7th day of the week, the Shemitah is the 7th year of an agricultural cycle. Every 7th year, the land is supposed to lie fallow, to rest. Debts are forgiven, and it's a time of release and renewal. This 7-year cycle has been observed for millennia, and some people have noticed incredible patterns. Many major economic shifts and even global events seem to align with these 7-year cycles. If you look back, you can see significant financial events happening around Shemitah years. For example, 2001 saw the dot-com bubble burst and the 9/11 attacks, which shook global markets. 7 years later, in 2008, we had the massive global financial crisis. 7 years after that, 2015 saw significant volatility in Chinese and European markets. The last Shemitah year was from September 2021 to September 2022. And what did we see? Soaring inflation, supply chain chaos, and major geopolitical instability that rocked the global economy. Now, the next Shemitah year is set to begin in the fall of 2028 and end in the fall of 2029. So where does 2025 fit in? Think back to Joseph's dream. There were 7 years of plenty, and then 7 years of famine. The turning point, the moment the prosperity ended and the hardship began, was at the end of that 7th year. If we view the recent past as a period of unprecedented global growth and credit expansion, a sort of fat cow era. Despite its challenges, many analysts believe we are now entering a period of correction and scarcity, the lean cow era. The period from the 2008 crisis until recently was marked by incredibly low interest rates and what seemed like endless money printing. It was an artificial boom. But now, the cycle is turning. We are seeing central banks around the world aggressively raising interest rates to combat inflation. This is like Joseph collecting the grain. It's a tightening of resources. The easy money party is over. 2025 stands right in the middle of this transition. It's a few years into the lean cycle. If the pattern holds, this period could be one of economic contraction and difficulty. The abundance we took for granted might not be there in the same way. It's not about predicting a specific crash on a specific day, but about recognizing the rhythm, the larger economic season we're in. This isn't meant to be fear-mongering. Far from Italiano. The story of Joseph is ultimately a story of hope and preparation. Joseph didn't just predict the crisis, he prepared for it, and because he prepared, he was able to save not only his own family, but the entire known world. His wisdom turned a potential catastrophe into an opportunity for salvation and leadership. So, what's the takeaway for us? It's about being like Joseph. We need to be wise and discerning. Look at the patterns. See the cycle turning. This isn't the time for reckless spending or taking on massive debt. This is the time to be prudent. Just as Joseph stored up grain, we can store up our own resources. This means building an emergency fund, paying down high-interest debt, and investing wisely for the long term. It's also about diversifying your skills and income streams. In the ancient world, being dependent on one crop was dangerous. Today, being dependent on one job or one skill can be just as risky. Think about what you can learn, how you can adapt, and most importantly, it's about community. When the famine hit, Joseph's family had to come together. The crisis reunited them. In our own lives, building strong relationships with family, friends, and neighbors is our greatest safety net. When times get tough, it's the people around us who will help us through. The story of Miketz and the echo of 2025 isn't a prophecy of doom. It's a call to action. It's a reminder that we have the power to prepare, to act with foresight and wisdom. By understanding the cycles of history, we can navigate the challenges ahead not with fear, but with confidence. We can turn the lean years into a time of strength, resilience, and even opportunity. Just like Joseph, we can look at the writing on the wall, understand the message, and build our own storehouses for the future. The dream is before us. The choice of how we interpret it and how we act on it is ours. Thanks for watching. And do you want to forget to like and subscribe for more content that connects ancient wisdom with our modern world?